Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on the world of high-performance computing. Today, my guest is from OpenSFS. We have Norman Morse, the CEO of the organization. So, Norm, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for inviting me. Really appreciate being here, and always happy to talk about OpenSFS and LUG and Lustre.
Yeah, so Lustre, this has been a big year for Lustre, and I kind of wanted to start there, Norm. I mean, we seem to have a lot of positive developments over the past 12 months. Would you agree?
I certainly would. We've had a really great year. We've had a lot of new installations. As we discussed previously, I'll probably just mention this in general terms because it's been our policy to let particular sites make their own announcements about what they're doing. So I don't want to preempt any of that, but we have had a lot of new Lustre installations, which we're very pleased by. And the performance of Lustre is really spectacular. I think we have at least one site running at over a terabyte per second.
Wow.
So we're really pleased by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in addition, I'm sure everyone knows that we've had some good increases in our participation in open scalable file systems. So, for example, we've had Intel join at the promoter level. They're now a board member, so it's something that we asked them to do. And they have done that. So we're very pleased by that development.
So, yeah, and, of course, Intel acquired Wham Cloud, who are the primary developers of Lustre, I think it was in July, right? So they've already stepped up. That's really good news.
Yeah, it's great. We're very pleased by that.
So that begs the question, Norm. I mean, the world has changed since your organization was formed. I mean, Intel's a big company. Do we still need OpenSFS to fund the development of Lustre?
Yeah, Rich, it's a good question, and it's one that's being asked. Even though a big company, Intel, has acquired Wham Cloud, and other commercial outfits are acquiring other important parts of the Lustre environment. The original reason that OpenSFS was created was to put the control of the Lustre system in the hands of the community, the using community. That reason has not gone away. Lustre is open source. In the past, perhaps there's been an awkward situation where a commercial entity had a lot of control over the future of Lustre, and it caused some problems for the community. In fact, OpenSFS was created somewhat in response to that environment. So the reason for OpenSFS to exist has not gone away. So I think there's definitely a role for it in the future. The other part about Intel acquiring Wham Cloud, I've had this question several times. Intel's a big company. They have a lot of the development capability for Lustre at this point. They're a commercial outfit. They're going to do their best to make money from the Lustre environment. So the question has been, well, why should we pay to help any commercial outfit? It's not just Intel, but why should we pay to help any commercial outfit do a development that they're going to make a profit on?
Mm-hmm.
So let me point out a couple of things. One is just making Lustre available to the open source community so that people can download it. Doing the testing, landing features, making the tree available, making the open source code available, costs about $3 million a year. At this point, OpenSFS is paying for half that, and Intel is paying for the other half. So Intel's making a huge contribution there to make this open source code available to the community. And it's not just individuals or even individual sites that are downloading it. It is other commercial outfits which may or may not be in competition with Intel. So we're actually very pleased with sort of the community mindset that Intel is following at this point in participating in helping fund and make the open source code available to the community. So they're in at $1.5 million just to make the code available, even to their competitors. And then in addition to that, recently the OpenSFS board, actually in response to the community, suggested to Intel that they should step up in OpenSFS, step up their participation to the promoter level, which means they're putting in $500,000 a year of dues, which OpenSFS then uses to not only support the tree to make the code available to the community, but also to solicit the community for changes that the community needs in the Lustre file system, and then let out an RFP or multiple RFPs to satisfy the community's requirements. So that's what we do with our funds. And since I'm on that subject, we expect to finish our first development RFP in 2013. We've already generated the next RFP for Lustre features, and that RFP is going to be submitted for bids very soon, within the next month, I would say.
Okay. So you really have built an ecosystem here, right? I mean, and at least formalized it, haven't you, Norm? I mean, look at the board level companies at the promoter level. They all have some commercial interest in seeing Lustre succeed, right? They're all going to make money off of it and leverage it to, sell products or whatever. And you guys are kind of a constant force. Even though the market may change and the players may change, you're that stable rock, the way I see it.
Yeah, I think that's right, Rich. We try to operate a lean and mean organization. We try to minimize our overhead and make sure that all of the dues that our community provides us with, entrusts us with, are spent directly on the support of the tree, making the code available to the community, and in additional features, bug fixes, performance enhancements, whatever the community needs in Lustre development. We're particularly focused on Lustre at the moment, and in the future, obviously from our name, we are interested in open source file systems. So we're focused on Lustre today. If the community wants to do something different in the future, we certainly will respond to that. But yeah, we're hopefully the stabilizing influence in this ecosystem.
So one of the big things you guys do on an annual basis is, of course, the Lustre user group, right? And that's coming up in April, is it not?
So yeah, the next Lustre user group is going to be held in San Diego. It's at the Omni Hotel, downtown San Diego, in the Gaslamp Quarter. The sessions for the conference are going to be held from April 16th through the 18th. Registration is now open. Please go to our website, opensfs.org, and look under events, and you'll find a link to LUG 2013. All the information is there on the website that you need to register. We have a block of rooms set aside as our normal practice. I'm very pleased that Steve Sims is our program committee director again this year. He did a great job in Austin last year, so we're really pleased that he's come back to do that for us again.
Yeah.
Steve is soliciting presentations for the conference, and again, on the website that I mentioned, there's information for proposing talks. Last year in Austin, we had more talks than we actually had time for, so hopefully we're going to accommodate as many as possible this year. We also, as it points out on the website, it really is a community effort. We appreciate very much our commercial and other organizations who help us sponsor this conference. We currently have 3 folks signed up, DDN, Intel, and Xyratex. So thank you to those 3. We're looking for as many more as we can get to help defray expenses. There's information on the website about how to sign up to sponsor just the event in total, or we're inviting folks if they wish to sign up for sponsoring a breakfast or a lunch or something like that. So we're very excited. We're looking forward to it. I think it's a great venue. I think it's going to be a great conference. A lot of good information exchange.
Yeah, and having Steve Sims run the agenda, he is just a force to deal with. He makes sure that those aren't marketing talks; those are real technical.
Isn't he a character?
Yeah, and he's
he got blindsided a little bit last year, but he took care of it immediately.
He's got this dry sense of humor up there at the podium, and it's kind of like a comedy shtick. I really enjoyed it. So. Looking forward to that. And boy, and you're right, Norm. The gas lamp district down there is it's awesome venue for this kind of thing. Looking forward to it. So I did want to ask you about the agenda. Looking for participation. Do you see any kinds of different directions, or is it just you're trying to just open the door for more different kinds of talks this year?
Yeah, we don't want to exclude any ideas that people might have. As it says in the website, we're looking for deep dives. We really want to keep this an interesting technical conference that people who are day-to-day involved in Lustre will find interesting. We're looking for new information, particularly we know that Lustre is finding its way into new environments, maybe enterprise environments, maybe more commercial environments. We're very interested in that. We know also that in any community there are controversial topics. So we don't avoid controversy. We see it as a constructive force. So we'd like to get those issues out on the table and give everyone a chance to hear some opinions about them and then to discuss them or ask questions, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So in general, like all areas of Lustre development, application, best practices, those kinds of things. So that's what we're looking for. Again, we're trying to make this a very informative and useful conference for everyone who attends.
Well, that's exciting, especially given some of the talks I've seen recently where Lustre is starting to be used with things like Hadoop and big data, which could really open up the market for this community. And I'd love to see that kind of stuff on your agenda as well. So good job. Yep. Yeah. All right, Norm. Well, I'm looking forward to coming down there, and let's toast to a great year in Lustre. And I guess we shouldn't forget to mention your friends over at EOFS, the European Open File System.
Absolutely.
Folks. Are they a co-sponsor of the event as well?
They are, and in fact, you'll see their logos on all the event literature. Yeah, we're very pleased. We have an excellent relationship, a worldwide community, really. At least North American and European, and others are developing, which we want to include in this community. But yeah, we do. OpenSFS primarily runs LUG. EOFS primarily runs what they call LAD, Lustre Administrators and Developers Conference in Europe.
Yeah.
And then we both participate in the Supercomputing Conference and have a booth there, as I'm sure people know. And in ISC in Europe, we do the same thing. So it's a very close relationship. We have a call with the UFS at least every other week. We attend each other's board meetings. So yeah, we're very pleased with that relationship. I think it's very healthy for the Lustre community.
Well, that's great to see that. Well, Norm Morse, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Well, it's my great pleasure, and thanks for asking me.
You bet. Okay, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on high-performance computing.